Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Monkey Demon 109. This is Assassin's Creed Revelations. The game type is Deathmatch. The map is Antioch, I think is how you pronounce it. The avatar is the courtesan's cousin, the Corsair. And I swear, these two characters look way too much alike. I'm actually thinking about taking off this pirate hat so that I look more like the courtesan, because the courtesan doesn't have a pirate hat. And so what that would mean is that there'd be a bunch of courtesan and corsairs who look just alike because they're related walking around, and people would be fuzzled out of their mind, and they would go over and they would kill courtesans thinking that it's the corsair who I am, and they just wouldn't know what to do. It would be amazing. But anyway, topic for another time. Abilities I'm using in this game are Mute and Smoke Bomb. The perks I'm using are Blender and Kill Buffer. The kill streak I'm using is the 5 regular kill, and the loss streak I'm using is Revelations. Now, I just want to briefly go over a couple of topics and not really delve too deeply into them. But one thing you're going to notice in this game is that there's only 4 players, including me, in here. And the other 3 players, not to sound cocky or anything, but they're kind of noobish. And not to sound narcissistic, but I'm pretty awesome. I tried to say that with a straight face, but it didn't really work out. But anyway, so there's only 4 players in this game. And so you really want to keep track of all of them. So for instance, there's me, the Corsair, the Vizier, the Count, and the Deacon, and I had 2 pursuers on me right then, so I knew that it had to be the Count and the Deacon because I had just killed the Vizier, who was my target, and there's only 4 people. It's important to do this in, full lobby games too. It's a lot harder to do with 8 people. I usually just don't keep track. But with, because you'd have to look for all of the avatars. You have to keep track of what avatars are even players, and then you'd have to try to keep track of who's your pursuer and target. Well, target's not really that hard, but pursuer, that's pretty difficult. So when there's only 4 people in a game, it's much easier. So you really want to do that. Another thing I want to mention was going for your variety bonuses. Now this means getting your incognito, your silent, your discreet, reckless, maybe even a chase, getting things like stuns, escapes, acrobatics, aerials, hiddens, poisons, chains, all these different things go over to variety and greater variety, and that's just extra points. And that's the entire purpose of this game, is to get as many points as possible. And I actually think I do get greater variety at some point in this game. But yeah, so the last actual game advice I want to talk about is pre-locking people. So it happens pretty rarely, but at least enough to make a mention of it. There is this weird thing where sometimes if nobody else is available, your target will become the person who's right in front of you, or your pursuer will become the person who's right next to you or something, and that makes a very dangerous situation. So if you pre-lock somebody, and then if you think you'll get them as a target or as a pursuer, you'll either spam stun or kill, and just figure it out. Just sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. And actually, one more thing I want to say about the Deacon in particular, right there, he just dropped down, and my radar, my portrait in the top right was going crazy on me, and so I was super confused. I had no idea where he was, but he's actually on that roof right there. And yeah, so I take note of that. I take note that he's on the roof in front of me. I take note of what the portrait looked like, and you'll see later in the game that the backlight lights up for him, but he's not in my line of sight. So after I go around a corner and I still don't see him, I just assume he's on the roof. So very important. And let's actually get into the topic that I want to talk about, and this has absolutely nothing to do with the game at all, or really any online game. Um, but it does have, you know, a very practical use still. So I want to talk about toilets and unclogging them and all that sort of stuff. So before I actually get started in this, I don't worry. I mean, it's not all that gross. Don't just like unclick the video, click back or whatever, just because I'm talking about toilets and how they're clogged and disgusting. Don't worry about it. I'll try to keep it rated G. Actually, I will keep it rated G, so you know, just don't worry at all. So anyways, so this is basically what happened. My toilet, somewhat obviously, was clogged. So what that basically means is that there's something obstructing the pipe, so that the liquid is flowing out of the toilet bowl slower than liquid flowing in. And so yeah, so I actually lifted up the back part of the toilet. Like there's a little lid to the back part where all these pipes and configurations and all that nonsense are. And I actually, I have no idea how toilets work really, like how the components all work and all that nonsense. So it was really interesting. Like I lifted this little flap in the back there, and I thought like, oh yeah, maybe it'll drain water because that would be super helpful and exactly what I need. It does not do that at all. It actually puts water into the toilet bowl, so literally the opposite of what I wanted to do. And actually, my toilet kind of overflowed a little bit, so it's pretty gross. Because I had a little Call of Duty in there. We ordered a little bit of the poo-poo platter with some shiitake mushrooms on the side. So kind of gross, and don't worry, that's as gross as it's gonna get. But I was looking online, and I was like, how do I cure clogged toilet? And basically everything I found said that you had to have a plunger, and that's not good because I don't have a plunger. And when my toilet was clogged, we were like at the end of a snowstorm, I think, and it was in the middle of the week, so I was busy with school, so I didn't really have time to go get a plunger. But this is the kind of thing that I need to fix basically immediately, because I really enjoy it when my toilet works properly. It's much more helpful than a toilet that does not work at all in the place that you live. And so I wrote in my diary that I okay, sorry, I don't have a diary, but so anyway, so I kept on doing research, and I found this one site that said that you could unclog a toilet using only dish soap and hot water, and you can make your own hot water. It's pretty easy. So this is what you do. You take the dish soap and you squirt it around the toilet bowl, or like around the water in the toilet bowl. And while you're doing this, you're boiling hot water. Now when you boil hot water, keep that lid on there because it keeps the heat trapped in the pot, and the water will heat faster, so you don't want heat to escape for that reason. So once the water's boiling and you got the dish soap in there, you grab the pot of water and you tip it slowly, pour gently in there, because you don't want a bunch of like exploding poop water all over you. That's gross. You don't want that. That's the opposite of what you want. So yeah, so I was boiling water, and I got this down, and it took me 2 tries, and I heard from a bunch of comments that it takes multiple tries to get this done, but it's super nice when it actually does finish, because you don't need equipment. It's just a pot of water and some dish soap, both of which you should probably have because they're really useful in just day-to-day use. So anyway, I actually did see this one comment on this website that asked this question, and the person asked, should I flush the toilet when I'm doing this? Now what they're asking is if they should flush a bunch of boiling water with poop and piss within the water. Now, a clogged toilet basically means that water's not flowing out as quickly as it's flowing in, which means that you're going to overflow a bunch of hot water with poop and piss. That is not what you want, so don't do that. Just, pour it in and let it go, let it drain out naturally. So anyway, end of the game. 78-50 was the score with 14 kills, 6 deaths. Second place was 21-50, 8 kills, 12 deaths. And I hope you enjoy this. I don't know how many commentaries I'm going to actually do of this, where I just talk about a topic, that's not about the game at all. But we'll see how it goes. I think I'll just play day by day. And yeah, thanks for visiting, and I will see you later. Bye.